everybody! Welcome to Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And we can't see who is on the stream because our computers are updating conveniently right this moment.
That's okay.
It's not Leona's fault.
It's not Leona's fault. We're 30% complete.
Yeah, so we'll just know that we are eagerly awaiting the reveal of who
It will be
is-
just like that. It'll be like a curtain opening, and we get to see the audience.
Yes,
Awesome.
and it'll be a surprise for
It will be.
us. But while we wait for that surprise,
I'm also not going to point out that since I said 30%, it has gone nowhere. Anyway.
while we wait for that surprise, we have some Mythic America to paint today.
We do. We do.
So who do you have?
I have a special edition mini from, I'm assuming it's from the same faction as the Quetzalcoatl that we painted up. Was that 2 months ago now?
I
3 months
believe
ago?
so.
It's coming close. I don't know anymore. Time
It's
is all wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, just it happened. Time isn't real.
It's true. It's a construct. But yeah, it's a very cool warrior. He's wearing a suit of scales,
Okay.
and has I'm guessing it's like a jaguar head on top of his.
So are you gonna paint
head.
some spots today?
Possibly.
Do you know the difference between jaguar and cheetah spots?
No, but I'm sure I will learn. As will all of you. But yes, but rather than going down as a pelt over the back of his head, it goes into some sort of ceremonial kind of thing that is again covered in the scales.
All right.
So I'm kind
cool.
of torn as to how to paint him, but yeah, it's pretty wild. But this is I think one of the special edition miniatures that Warlord Games did. This is the has Mythicus. Oh, there we go. Can't quite see it on the. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Oh, there we go. So just underneath him there, you can see the Mythicus Studios logo.
Mm-hmm.
And Mythicus and Warlord sent these through, so they also have one which has which is a Roman Legionnaire for as a special edition miniature, and on the base it says Warlord Games, the logo. It's Warlord Games,
Awesome.
which is pretty good. So I'm probably not going to work on this guy tonight because we're doing Mythic Americas stuff, and I don't know that the ancient American people had myths about Romans, but they might have. Probably not.
Pretty sure those guys eventually made it over to where these guys are, but
Kind
it
of.
wasn't.
In a way.
It wasn't
In a
that.
way.
Yeah,
They look very
it was-
different.
That
look
by
very,
that
very
point in
different.
time, it was a different story
It was a
and not a
different story.
fun one.
No. But you are going to be painting up?
I have two different warriors, and they are. I think they're just called Mohawk warriors.
Yep. So from the Mohawk tribe?
So yeah, so they're two. You're pretty sure
Yep.
is what?
Yeah, they're the Mohawks and the were kind of in that. I think they're in like the New York, Canada kind of band
Okay.
kind of area. But whatever you think Mohawks, and if you want to watch a movie that will get the blood flowing about the French and Indian Wars,
You're gonna say Last of the Mohicans?
Last of the Mohicans,
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis. But
I'm sure it's super accurate.
not at all. Not at all. Well, actually, I'm sure that there are a lot of things in there that are quite accurate. But yeah, it's definitely.
I had to watch that in my English class.
Yeah.
Yep. My English teacher narrated it, so now I cannot see the movie without just hearing her voice come to me.
Right.
And just narrating it in a very dry, sarcastic kind of tone throughout
Okay.
the film.
Nice.
But yeah, all right. So up north is where these guys are from.
Yep.
Somewhere between Canada and New York, because that really narrows it down.
In that
a whole lot.
Well, not New York City, upstate New York.
Okay.
Because there's the bits of New York that are like right next to Canada, like this close to Canada.
That's fair. That's fair.
They also have a plastic shield across them now between them. But yes. Yeah, I figured that you'd want to paint those because of the Wendigo that you painted.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on.
Soon we're gonna get the chat, guys. I can see it on the big screen. We can see like one comment at a time. So I know that LUKAFIO and Guri?
Yeah.
Gray, which is
Gray,
Jason.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. I know they're there.
I, of course, just like you can't see some of the minis when we go through and look at the minis from the group, I can't see the chat on the big screen because there's a camera in the way. But we'll get there. So I'm not sure. How should I paint these scales?
Yeah. Spotty.
I mean, they're hefty. They're
spotty
so heavy.
basic job by
These these minis are they're heftier than I thought they were gonna be when I picked them up.
Good.
Yep.
Stuff.
So if you all take turns typing, it'll pop up
James.
one to two of a time on the big screen. James, there are others here. We'll know soon.
We'll know soon once we get to see the chat. The owner is working feverishly away.
Or maybe I'm just feverish.
One of the three.
No, that's forbidden here.
That's not. Yeah, that's not a good matter.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Not a good idea. Okay, I've decided I'm going to go with green. Let's see if we can build up a nice sort of bright green on those scales.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something colourful to match the Quetzalcoatl. But I'm also sure there are a lot of areas that'll be just perfect for neutral colours as well.
I'm gonna get some base colors thrown down.
Yep. That will be good. Cool.
Oh, Sumkey. Hello. JT.
Hello, hello.
I like Dave wearing his Dave shirt.
Somebody's got it.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining. Oh, yes, and Fuerte Forte. Hello.
Hello, everybody. While we're waiting for that to come through, how did things go last week while I was away?
Things went great. We had, for those of you who weren't with us last week, we had Joe BRASSEY, who is a sci-fi author and a HEMA instructor, so sword fighting instructor as well.
We didn't talk at all really about HEMA.
Yeah, we didn't talk about swords. We didn't
No?
get to, well, his sci-fi books are really cool.
Yeah,
so
we did talk a lot.
we talked a lot about the books.
Right. Okay, cool.
But, you know, we had a great time having him on the show, and he really enjoyed it. And he joined our mini painting group and put up some minis because I had him paint his very first mini on the show.
Oh, very cool.
You know, no pressure. It was fine. And he did a great job. So we all enjoyed him, and next time maybe you'll get to meet him, and
That'd be cool.
then we can talk swords if we don't get distracted yet again by the really cool, awesome sci-fi books. I mean,
Right.
it's a toss-up.
Excellent. Excellent. That's
I
good.
know everybody loves sword talk.
Yep. Very cool. Yes, I was away with my family. We went, we traveled to the beach
The beach.
where we rented a Airbnb condo and kind of hung out for the week. We did all the things that we would normally do at our house. Like go to work in our house and my daughters went to school in the house. But we just did it in a different place. Because we figured that
Some enrichment.
time is running out. We're going to have to get back to the real world soon, but yeah, that we might...
So a little
We should do-
social distancing vacation.
Social distancing vacation, exactly. But of course, doing it in March meant that the weather was terrible. It was not beach weather.
Nope.
But, yeah, we managed nonetheless. So definitely good there. A fun little
What
thing.
was the author's name again? So the author's name was Joseph BRASSEY. Leona's going to put the link in the chat to some of his books, and you can also find him on Twitter. He's really active on Twitter. Yeah, just overall, really cool dude. If you like nerdy sci-fi books and you like sword fighting, then give him a follow.
Excellent. There we go.
And now we've got him into mini painting.
Yeah. One down.
All of them.
7 billion to go.
Welcome to the dark side. Also, I do want to say that Roger Moore earlier said thanks, Dave and others, for those paint recommendations. Working really well. Used Reichland Flesh Shade.
Excellent. Yep.
Just straight and Gullyman Flesh. Not sure I'm going to do anything more with them.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Joe is currently painting an owl bear if you follow him on Twitter.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. Cool. So chat is working now.
Excellent.
So you can re-say hello if you want.
We can communicate now. Quick, everybody say hello so we know who's here.
But yeah, we actually talked with Nelson Martinez, who is the creator of Mythic Americas, or one of the creators. We had an interview with him about a month ago, so he was really kind and sent us these minis.
Yep. It's definitely good. Was it in January?
Yes.
I think it was.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's like
'cause
one of
it
the first
was-
things after Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, it was definitely good chatting with him while we were painting these up. Yeah. This guy is very cool. We've got a lot of fun things to decide on him. So just, you can see, probably see him a little bit better there now. I'm just moving. So it's got a great war club, which has probably got stone shards sort of embedded in there. You can see that. Might be able to see the, let's get the right lighting on it. Can't quite see the sort of the jaguar head just yet.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a round shield with feathers hanging from the bottom. And I think I'm going to paint that a stone color, but I'm not sure. Should I go for like a gray stone, like a granite?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think that'll make the other colors pop a lot more.
Right. If I have
It makes sense in terms of materials, too.
yeah.
Gary says, "Happy April Fools."
Oh yeah, it is.
Sean
April Fool's Day,
says,
isn't it?
"Hey." Happy January 91st, says LUKAFIO.
Yep. This keeps on going forever.
Time isn't real. It's fine. I didn't even know today was Thursday at first this morning.
Yeah.
I would have kept thinking it was Wednesday if Leona didn't post up all those reminders of come join us painting Happy Little
Join us
Minis.
tonight.
Yeah, I would have just been at home hanging out. Like, wow, this Wednesday sure is quiet.
That would have been.
You ever just lose a day?
That would have been kind of funny. Not for me, like right now, going.
Just Dave.
But
What would
It
you
would've-
do if it just had to be you painting?
Well, it would be me. Maybe I could be on the show and
you could
run
be
the
on
camera.
the show.
For sure.
Do it.
If anybody could do it, Leona could do it.
I do believe in you, Leona.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh,
Okay.
Ooh, question. A Facebook group user was looking for a wet palette. What do you recommend for a wet palette when just starting? My wet palette is made of plastic.
Do you want to show it on? There we go. So, yeah,
Yep.
that's a tray from a box of minis, I think.
Yep.
And
It's called recycling.
it's got some folded sort of kitchen towel on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
right?
think so. It has
Oh,
palette
okay.
paper.
Oh, it has a foam
It
pad
actually
underneath.
is a foam pad underneath, and then palette
Right.
paper on top.
It's
and
leaking.
I'm sorry,
I think,
too
a little
much
bit,
water.
But that's
I'm sorry.
fine. That's, we nothing but the best at Game Trade Media.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Excellent. And as you can see there, JT said, well, that's really weird. Oh, no, there we go. Yeah, sorry. It's just looking differently. My bad. But yeah, JT says the Army Painter or Red Grass Games are highly rated. I have the Red Grass Games wet palette. There we go. The reason that there are sort of paints smeared on my palette paper here is that I was painting earlier today. Put everything into my put the lid on. Put everything into my box. When I got here, all of the paints had mixed
Oh no.
because I had a little bit too much water in there. So I had to wipe it off because I didn't have another sheet of paper here. So yes, but yeah, I'm a big fan of this one, the Red Grass Games. The Army Painter palette has been particularly popular as well, and yeah, I think Masterson's wet palette is another one that some folks would know and probably use. Roger's using a sandwich container, paper towel, wetted in parchment paper. So yeah, lots of different ways you can go about it. I went for this one because all of the homemade ones that I've tried making, didn't work particularly well.
This has worked really well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for me, that approach. But yeah, so definitely cool. Dave says, howdy all, and says, nice haircut, Dave. I had to get a haircut. My hair was getting way too long. Oh, Mike Becker's here. Hey, Mike. Mike uses the Mastersons, so that we just mentioned. But yeah, all good. And Lukafio says, seeing Leona 2 weeks in a row would have been cool. She just raised her hands like, yes! But, yeah, definitely good. I'm still wondering, what am I going to do?
So Gretchen, what
next?
skin color have you been or mixing?
So I am mixing up some different shades of tan. So I started off with the Carne Marron tan.
Right? Yep.
Right, so that's this guy here.
That one? Yeah.
Right. And then that's kind of a warmer tan that has warmer undertones to it. So I think I'm also going to play around a little bit with some of the flat earth because that's a little cooler and see where that gets me. And then I'll probably end up doing a wash over everything just to get into all of the little muscle crevices because there's quite a, these guys are pretty muscly. And I don't want to hide their muscles.
Yep.
They are warriors after all.
Indeed.
So, but yeah, nothing super fancy. Mixing up a little bit lighter of the tan to get some highlights going though.
Excellent. I think. Oh, Leona's in again.
What?
You're adjusting the.
Yeah.
Leona's a tinkerer. She's tinkering with all the shots.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
good.
maybe when we're away for a week or two, I like feel like I have to touch every shot 10
Right.
times,
You think somebody's come in and twisted the dial?
even though no one has.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why
So that's the thing.
they get quiet, because it's like, oh, I'm in the room now.
Nice. That's cool.
No, I like the poses on these warriors.
Yep. They do look very cool. But yeah, that's what we're working on and what we're messing around with. What are you guys painting at home? What's everybody doing? Mike said, we less than 3 Leona. I don't understand. But yes, Game Color Tan is great. Indeed. Somebody says Leona the video elf. Very cool. Oh, Dave Humble is tinkering on his Thunderhawk, which is going to be awesome to see. What's a Thunderhawk?
What's a Thunderhawk?
A Thunderhawk is a sort of an enormous plane for Space Marines. I think a while back I did a Stormbird and brought it onto the show. The big blue. Yep. Thing. Thunderhawk is similar to that. Slightly smaller, but I mean Dave has been putting in a lot of work in his Space Marines over the last couple of months, and this will be an awesome centerpiece for his army. Definitely very cool. James Denkoff is working on Black Beauty, a ship, not the horse.
Boo. I was like, oh yeah, okay, literary miniatures, that's fine. That's cool. Hit me up with those Jane Austen minis. That's what I want
Nice.
next.
Roger has started on some monsters to mix it up for Monumental. By the way, Dave, there are 90 plus minis in that game. My goodness. That's yes. It's a good idea to break that up as you're going along. JT says working on old 40k servitors and a tech priest dominus. Very cool. Excited to see more Adeptus Mechanicus on the in the group. Lava Painter is about to get ready to paint some Monster Apocalypse buildings. Very cool. I do love the buildings for Monster Apocalypse. The resin buildings, I think that the Privateer do. They are very cool. Jason is working on a Bones Chimera. He's got the base coat and some shades done for now. Oh, and shades done, but now for the tough parts. Highlights and details. My favorite parts. Just putting the depth and the detailing in. Oh, Dave Hummel says the old build, not the new one for the Thunderhawk. When you say the old one, do you mean the old metal kit, Dave? Or the older resin kit? Well, the not as old as the metal kit, the newer than that Forge World one? We'll find out. Oh, first generation resin. Okay. Yes, if you want a frustrating kit, the old metal one is ridiculously terrible. Thankfully, they did a new one. Sean is working on the Lumineth Avelinor. Sean, what do you think of the all of the new stuff for the Lumineth Realm Lords? Recently Games Workshop revealed a whole bunch of new minis for that range. Loads of fantastic. So the original ones that they showed were very earth/stone focused. These ones are very much wind, air focus. So I think there's a couple in there that you'd really like. There's like a fox spirit with a bow being lifted up on like a hurricane kind of thing. Looks great. Lukafio is more Firefly Games ships. I think you sent some more this week. Cool. Yep. Oh, I think I sent you some more this week. Yes, I did see those some of those in the group. They're looking good. Very nice. Mike Becker is painting MESBG Rivendell, Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game.
That's, wow.
It took me a minute.
That's such a acronym.
It is. It's one hell of a word soup. But very cool. So Rivendell. So that
Who
would
makes
be,
that game?
Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game.
Mm-hmm.
It's Games Workshop.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So that would be some fantastic elves and Elrond.
Nice.
Very cool. James is soon. Oh, he says soon I get my Bones 5. Ooh. That would be exciting. There's some pretty cool stuff in that, I think. Dave said, if I had that metal one, woo, dollars. Yes. They originally made, I think, 500 of them.
Oh, wow. So those are like...
They're super limited, yeah. And they were 500? Yeah, something like that. They did them in wooden boxes, like a wooden presentation box, with cool eagles on the corners and a lock and key kind of thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I got to put 2 of them together when I worked for Games Workshop in Australia and paint them up. And they didn't come with instructions.
So somewhere out in the world, amongst those limited super edition ones, are Dave painted super limited edition ones.
Yeah, yeah. The fun part was, so I put them together, painted them, and then we sent them around Australia to different roadshow events. Like, we shipped them around Australia.
So who really knows where they are?
So whenever they came back, I would reassemble them, touch up the paint, and then we'd send them out again. And then I'd come to get them back and had to reassemble them. It was crazy. But yes. So Sean, in response to that question about the new Lumineth Realm Lords models, says my wallet cries. Oh, James has 4 ships coming from the Bones 5 series. Very cool. And Sean has ordered a Severeth and a Broken Realms Techless book. That's very cool. That'll be a lot of fun to mess around with those. I think, Sean, you get those in. Oh, very soon. I'm not sure if either of you have seen it, but Games Workshop is about to release a game called Warhammer Quest: Cursed City. And so Warhammer Quest is an old, I say old, it's like a mid-90s game from Games Workshop, and very cool sort of dungeon delving kind of thing. And they've done a few sort of updated variants of it over the last decade, including like a sci-fi version, Blackstone Fortress. But Cursed City is the next one, and the minis in that are just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. So that goes on pre-order this Saturday, I think. So definitely check in with your friendly local game store and see if they're getting in some, and see if they're going to be doing pre-orders as well. But there's going to be some awesome stuff in that. Very excited for it. I just realized why I went with green for the scales.
Why is that?
I think it's kind of like a Aquaman thing.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Now I feel kind of strange about going with green. So.
See, I thought you were going to say because the main color on the Quetzalcoatl is green.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nice vibrant green. Well, it's kind of that, and there's a bit of a I didn't realize it until sort of a little bit into it. But.
JT says, mid-90s is pretty old, Dave. And Sean, I agree. It will definitely sell out.
Yeah, it will.
Also, Gretchen, how is the Frost Giant coming along?
Still not done.
He's a big guy.
That is a big guy. I need to I need to buckle down and just like choose a full day to just finish him. Since I don't think we'll get another chance for a while on the show for me to paint him.
Yep.
I was thinking we could have another D&D episode,
D&D.
and then you could bring him in,
Oh,
You
yeah,
working
that's a
on
good
that?
idea.
like later this month if you wanted.
So he says, the Frost Giant's just chilling right now. He's put him in the freezer.
Yes.
Which, by the way, Dave, you missed it with Joe on the show, but he saw the little thing that pops up in the chat about you licking paintbrushes, and he is now a converted paintbrush licker.
Right. Yes.
You've claimed another one.
Fantastic.
Um,
Well, maybe not fantastic. It works for me. It doesn't necessarily have to work for you. That's the disclaimer. I'm not going to advocate for it. But it is funny. Yep, that's cool.
Yeah, the people in the chat, our friends in the chat, were very excited when Joe figured this out.
Excellent. One thing you might want to let Joe know is that if he is sitting down doing some painting and then he goes out, like post-COVID, where he's not wearing a mask, he probably wants to check his lip for paint. Sometime you
I'll
might
warn
need to
him.
scratch a little paint off the lips.
I think even on the show we said like, oh, don't worry, you just have to wash out your brush. You don't get paint in your mouth. And then we were like, no, you
No.
do get paint.
You do. You do.
It's there.
You probably shouldn't, but as in, if I was like washing my brush out properly and then not just using it in between paint.
Dave, you might have already
fine.
said what colors you're using.
I haven't.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't.
Could
But
you-
yeah, sure. At the moment, I'm just going through and actually, I'm basing everything else with charred brown, just to, because I think I'm going to use that as that's going to be my basis for working with everything. Although I've just realized that it's got two fantastic sort of shoulder pieces. So can't quite see it here. Yeah, a little tough to see. But I'm not exactly sure what they're made out of. But there are little carvings on it. You can see the carvings I can see the carvings on the back here. And it has it's got one on the right shoulder, and that's where the club is kind of resting. So I'm wondering if I should paint those more like an obsidian kind of thing. So paint them black and then give them some really sharp, slightly greenish sort of edge highlights. Because I think that would help frame the rest of the face. So I might go with that. But yeah, pretty much I've painted everything else with charred brown as a bit of a base. So I can work up the skin from charred brown, and I can work up the leathers and the armor that he's got on his calves. So has a little bit of a sort of striated pattern there. So I'm going to go with probably a bone kind of look for that.
All right.
Like, but not be bone. Wouldn't be a bone item. But yeah, so just messing around. This is one where normally when I look at a mini, I know I have an idea of what colors I want to use and where I want to put them. But it's definitely not the case for this mini. It's got me thinking, for sure. But I think probably next will be the skin so that I can, because I'm sort of comfortable with how I want to paint that, and then I can just go and pick out some of the other areas. I think going with the green, I'm going to use some red, probably some red on the, or reddish, maybe a desaturated red on the loincloth. There. I've got these feathers as well that I can work with at the bottom of the shield to add some of the Quetzalcoatl colors in.
I just destroyed this poor man's eyebrow.
His eyebrow?
His eyebrow, his whole
Eyebrows
eyebrow.
are super important. 80% of your facial expression comes from your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Or in my case, 90%. But so, yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to mess around with this guy. I'm going to switch brushes. And I'm going to use some of the game color tan as well. I think last time I showed this on the show, I was running out. So I went and got a new bottle. Check that out. Yeah. Very exciting. Okay. What else we got? Oh, James said when he gets Black Beauty done, he will post it. Very cool. I think it's been a little while since we've had one of James's ships on in the group.
His eyebrows are not symmetrical, but that's all right. That's fine. So his eyebrows are not symmetrical. They're not individually bad.
Okay.
Individually, they're perfectly fine
They're
eyebrows.
both awesome. But as a pair.
But as a pair,
They're not so much a matching
they
pair.
don't match.
I think one thing you could do, and this, I'm not sure if this will work for you, but you could possibly paint, when you're painting eyebrows, paint a monobrow, and then just come back and paint a quick highlight in the middle.
That is fair.
Separate it.
Yeah, one of them looks very nice.
Right.
I mean, they both look nice if they would match, but one of them is definitely lower on the brow bone than the other one, which makes for an interesting expression. But you know what? This guy up, who I just throw places, he has wonderfully matching eyebrows.
Right.
So it's fine. Who's going to be looking at their eyebrows in war anyway?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I must admit, I'm not sure if it was the Mohicans or not, the Mohawks. But there were some tribes in that area used to do basically like face paint.
True.
In a sort of band across like that, using like darker colors or through to reds.
I wish I actually knew
well.
more. I would be more willing to paint
to experiment
more
with that.
flamboyantly if I actually knew anything about them.
If you could be certain about that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't
That's
want
fair.
to. I wouldn't really want to paint anything that wasn't pertaining.
Wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
I understand. That's good. I knew I should have done some research. I knew it.
So it's looking like they can have face paint. Like there's some pictures
Right.
of Mohawk warriors, but they actually will have it on the lower part of their face.
Right. Okay.
Where it's beneath the nose, but above the lip, and then it goes down onto their neck.
That's cool.
Okay. Very cool. There we go.
But yeah, I mean, that's just the one picture that I saw. The rest but honestly, most of it is not painted, so.
Okay.
Most people do not have face paint.
I must be getting confused with another tribe.
I think you're right. I think one of the tribes in Montana, I believe, did that.
Oh, okay.
A little farther west.
Yeah. So I think by starting to get that, starting to paint the skin there, you start to see where it's sort of popping out. And then I get to do his feet as well. So rather, that's okay. You're good. It should be good. But I think. Oh, sorry. Somebody says that Minnie has just been browbeaten.
Can't all have perfectly groomed eyebrows all the time. It's just not realistic.
This is true.
I draw my eyebrows on when I come in here. Otherwise, they would disappear with all of the lights.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact.
When I go to the barber
Too
says,
blonde.
she says to me, "Would you like me to trim your eyebrows?" And I'm like, "No, no, please no." But yes, cool. Should we have a look at some minis from the group?
I think we should.
Alright. What do we have? Oh, AARONBERG painted up a Leona. There's no such thing as a
Painted a
dwarf.
Leona?
No such thing as a dwarf. It's a dwarf.
Maybe his name is Dward. Okay?
Possibly. We'll ask Aaron. There we go. Oh, wow. Like magic. So Aaron painted up a dwarf cleric, 3D printed dwarf cleric, which is looking pretty cool here. I'm really loving the shield there. And in addition to the gold, that fire actually looks like it is burning on that shield. So nice work on that, Aaron. Good job.
He has nice eyebrows painted on.
Yep. They're pretty fierce eyebrows, too.
They're symmetrical. They match. I'm just saying. We just learned how difficult that was.
This is true.
Credit where credit is
true.
due.
Ashlyn has been painting up some Sisters of Battle and trying a first energy effect. First 2 layers. So you can see on the sword there. So it's a power sword. So when you flick the switch, it energizes the sword.
All
And
right.
it creates a. It's supposed to create a like
Does
a.
it make that sound too, though?
It's not quite a lightsaber, but yeah. It emits a field around the sword, so it becomes like a monomolecular sort of thing. Just slices through things really easily. But that is looking very cool, Ashlyn, I think. Done a really nice job there. One thing that might help sell that a little bit more is before you start painting that sort of the electricity crackle on there, is just shade that area of the silver a little bit. Just pop a little bit of a black wash over it to make it darker, so that the bright crackling electricity will stand out against stand out a little bit more against the sword. But yeah, looking very cool, and I like the unconventional choice of the blue armor. It's looking very nice. And I also have to say, painting white on the having white robes on the outside and red on the inside.
Very
That's
nice.
a lot of work.
I like it though. It's quite
Looking very good,
fashionable.
definitely. No,
That
looks
pop
great,
color.
Ashley. Nice work. Oh, Ayumi has been painting up a preceptor. There's a work in progress.
Ooh, that's a nice shiny. Speaking of electric blues.
Yeah. Looking very cool. And it's interesting that she's going through that. It's got the blue. So you've got the blue would be the base color.
Mm-hmm.
Blue-green is the first highlight, and then the deep sky blue as the.
It
So
gives
it's,
it almost a metallic kind
Yeah.
of shine to it.
yep, putting that greenish
Mm-hmm.
tinge to it is very cool. Just as I said, it adds that extra sheen to it, doesn't it? But yeah, really nice work, Ayumi. Looks great. So this is for Monster Apocalypse. Excellent work. Oh, Cornish Mikey. Discworld time again. Granny Weatherwax. Now I'm going to say something absolutely terrible. I have not read the Discworld novels.
Neither have I.
Excellent. I apologize to everybody in the chat and to Cornish Mikey as well. But I am loving this model. Looks very cool. And I'm wondering, does that sort of just around that area, does that look like a lace?
It does
color
look
kind
like
of thing?
lace, yeah.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Really well done. It's nice and subtle.
Decollage.
Pardon?
Or decollage.
Decollage,
Yeah.
is that what they call it? Decollage. That's very cool. But yeah, I think I like it. It's not, it hasn't gone for that just like paint it bright white, which would, I think, distract from that glaring face. But yeah, looking good. Nice work indeed. Cool. Indeed. Craig has been painting up a Space Marine. So this is a Space Marine. I'm not sure which. Well, it's a Death Watch Space Marine. You can tell by the silver arm and the inquisitorial shoulder pad. But I can't remember which. Well, I don't know which chapter he's originally from. But I think that head is from a Age of Sigmar Stormcast Eternal model. So yeah, very cool conversion work there. That chain, I think, is like from a hobby store, craft store. Lashed around so that he's not going to drop that pistol. Must always be ready to shoot. But yeah, looking very cool there. I think your color scheme is very cool, Craig, and yeah, looking really nice. Great work. Oh, Chris has been painting up Bo-Katan. Yeah, so there's a 3D print. So this is I think, is Bo-Katan the character that was played by Katie Sackhoff?
With the red hair? With the red hair?
I think so, yes. Oh.
I don't know the actress's name. I just know what Bo-Katan
which
looks
character?
like. Yeah.
Cool. Dave Hummel says yes. Says yes, I was correct. But yeah, I think I always said it. I always love Chris's bright blues. Got that fantastic saturation to them. Really nice work there, Chris. And the I think you've painted Bo-Katan a few times here. So hopefully that freehand work is getting a little bit easier. It's looking really good. Very nice. Oh, Harvey. Paint up. This is a Tarask.
Ooh.
Look at me knowing the name. I paid attention. But yeah, this is very cool. Looking great. I'm loving the kind of the very natural tones.
Mm-hmm. I like that lime green on the tongue, though.
That is cool.
Really stands out with all those natural tones. Like, it's like you see him hiding out in the rocks and whatnot, and he blends in. But as soon as he opens his mouth, it's just
like rah, in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I mean, it's kind of a little bit thing like a blue tongue lizard.
yeah.
Yeah. So where it's got that pop of color. I guess
Also makes me think he's poisonous.
Poisonous.
Yeah.
The green.
That bright colors, that's the no danger sign when it comes to that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
That
term.
and all the blood dripping from its mouth. And the enormous
You know,
fangs.
anything could have blood dripping from
Anything
its
that's
mouth.
lime green.
Yeah, that's
Plus the blood dripping from the mouth. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's definitely cool. But yeah, looking really nice. Great work.
If I just might add one thing.
Sure.
Because the natural tones are so desaturated, that green looks even brighter.
Yep,
which
very
I think
definitely.
is what's so successful about the model. And I just wanted to say that.
Yep. And also, I'm just going to also say that
Yeah.
eyeball, is just like...
He's a crazy eye.
Yeah, seeing the white around it all is like that eye is wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, awesome work.
I actually grabbed Joseph's.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey.
Excellent.
Yeah, so he's
Owl.
doing a cardinal themed bear, owlbear, but switched up to the male cardinal colors. And I think a few people in chat were actually telling him to experiment with some green stuff to get that crest.
All right, okay. Yeah, I think that could definitely work. But yeah, this is looking good. I saw this in the group. Well, I saw, I think, some of the first work in progress shots, and I didn't realize that was Joe.
Yep, that's Joe's. That's Joe's second mini.
Very
Second
cool.
one ever.
Nice.
He also had a good question. If you are taking a paint to use as a wash and you're watering it down, how do you avoid bubbles?
How do you avoid bubbles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a tough one. Sometimes when you're applying, are you talking about bubbles when you apply it, Joe? Not sure, but generally, if you're painting over a very textured mini, and particularly like this one, it's got a lot of feather texture. If you do a quick brush stroke over it with a wash, we'll get bubbles forming in different areas. So for that, it's about going slowly and going with the grain of the texture. If you're talking about just a general taking the paint and mixing it up on your palette and avoiding bubbles that way, just mix it slowly. Yeah, stirring rather than shaking. Just like when you're, like if you're using a varnish, like on wooden products, wooden items, you never shake a varnish because you don't want little tiny air bubbles through it. You always stir it. So, stirring slowly.
So the opposite of a James
I learned that the
Bond
hard way
drink.
Yeah,
with the varnish thing.
most folks do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel really dumb, but never
Well,
forget.
It's on the label. It will say
Why
like stir,
read the
don't shake. But nobody reads the labels. Nobody reads them. But yeah, definitely nice work, Joe. It's coming along great. Ooh, Joshua Parker.
That's
The
cool. I
quirk.
don't think I've seen any kind
Quirk.
of eagle people before.
Yeah, it was definitely neat. Did we? I'm trying to remember. Did we see a work in progress of this, or what did we see?
I don't
No, we saw something
think
else.
so.
Something else. But yeah, this is looking very nice, Josh. I think yeah, I'm loving the colors, even though that kind of the yellow, the orange yellow is desaturated there. It's because the rest of the colors that we use, the browns and the grays, are very desaturated. That yellow is popping really nicely. It's looking very cool. And I think that the basing is nice as well. It sets that off. More saturation in the colors there on those little tufts of green and the green on the base, the green grass. Balanced nicely against the desaturated work, but looking very cool. Nice one. Oh, here we go. Copy was painted up the Reavers. And Jeff signs it, Firefly the game.
Those came out really nice.
Yep. The one on the bottom left with the like the blood smears on it. It's kind of like I know how they did it, like to look like that in Serenity in the movie, where they painted the front of it red with red paint. But I'm just wondering if the Reavers would organize like one ship would throw people out the back.
How they would
drive
organize
through
it to
them.
get that color.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that is a I don't know.
Yep. I'm not sure. I didn't realize there were Reavers in the board game, because they're certainly not going around doing jobs for Basher. I guess they're are they a force that can waylay you in between jobs. But yeah, go along nicely, LUKAFIO.
That's all for now.
That's all for now? Okay. We will now.
That's all for now, folks.
When we come back, if your name starts with an M through Z, we'll be looking at yours.
Yes, you may notice it's alphabetical.
There's a pattern. Cool.
All right, Gretchen, let's check in with you.
Let's check my minis.
What's going on? What's going on?
So I am getting some color down for their clothing. So I'm using the cooler tan for the leather of their pants. That way it doesn't all kind of blend together. And then once that's highlighted up, I imagine it will stand out even a little bit more. And then I'm going to go through, there's a few ornamental, there's not a whole lot in terms of ornamental wear or colors going on here.
Right.
So I think what I'm going to do is spend a lot of time with that weaponry to really make that stand out with the, looks like a dagger there and an axe or a tomahawk. And I don't know what that's called, but I really want to know because it looks cool.
It's like a war club.
Yeah, it's like a club, but it has.
So it has like a ball and then
It comes back around on that side.
kind of dagger piece coming from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But yeah, so that's what I'm planning on doing. He also has a dagger on his back hip as well.
Cool. Excellent.
I wish I had like reference art from the box, so I had a better idea. But
Yeah, that's cool. All good. But yeah, it's looking great. What sorry, just quickly though, Gretchen, what color are you using again for the leather?
flat earth,
Flat earth. Cool.
because that looked more cool toned in nature.
Yeah.
And I didn't want all my browns to blend together.
Okay. Very nice. Good. Okay. Let me see my guy there. So I've been working that up with, so from the charred brown, working up with the tan, and then mixing in a little bit of sand yellow to take the highlights a little bit higher. There. So again, just messing around with just a slightly different sort of skin tone approach. That I think will work for kind of that Aztec coloration. It's kind of tough to tell, of course. But, yep, coming along. I think the next step will be the, probably what he's got on his calves here. I guess the greaves. You can kind of see some of the striations there. So I'm just going to actually take some of this, the sand yellow, and mix that in directly with the charred brown to start to lighten that up. That'll give me a bit more of a desaturated look for that area. So, and then I'm just going to paint this carefully down there. Even though it's texture and I could possibly hit it with a dry brush, I don't think the sort of the striations are it's really deep enough to do that, and it would look a little bit flat. So just going along and picking these out. one tiny line at a time is going to be the way to go. Thankfully, there aren't too many of them. So you can see how that looks there.
That looks like a lot of work.
A lot of work? Nah. I think it's there's a lot of...
When your hands are shaky.
When your
like
hands
mine.
are shaky, it would certainly be a lot of work. What I'd probably suggest in that case would be to start with a lighter color and put a wash over it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the wash will pick it out. Maybe not quite as well as sort of painting individual lines,
Right.
but it'll be a lot faster. And if you haven't practiced painting thin lines a lot, or if you haven't done that in the past, I've done it quite a bit, so I can be fairly confident with my line work, and it doesn't take me too long. But yeah, if it's something you want to sort of get done quickly and not worry about that practice, hitting it with a wash would be the way to go there.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
So fun fact, my brother has started painting up some minis.
Oh, cool.
It's actually for an old board game called War of the Ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And what was really funny is we were chatting yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was like, so I bought some washes, and man, it really makes a difference.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, it makes them look so much better. And I was like, yes.
Yep. Yep. I remember when I was painting, I started painting, and when I got my first washes, it was just like,
Magic.
oh, this is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it was just that. It was simply amazing. What that technique could do.
Just
So-
a simple wash brings it
Yeah.
all together.
Exactly.
James says, I made a stick to help me keep minis more stable. It is made of a Coke bottle top and weights.
Okay. Do you have like the Coke bottle top with where you stick the mini at one end and weights at the other? Because I can kind of imagine that. Kind of like, maybe not exactly like.
Oh, almost
But,
like a gimbal or something with a steady
Oh,
cam or something.
Possibly something like that.
Where like you're weighting the one side of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right on. Neat. Yeah, anything that you can do to...
Who
to
in the
help
chat is
stability is
painting right
definitely
now? Tell us. Tell us.
I think everyone.
Everyone is painting
Everyone
right
is painting
now.
right
Good.
now. Right now.
Good.
Right this moment.
Right about now.
Me. Right about now. I did actually put up, so today is April 1st, but we're not joking right now. I did actually put up a giveaway in
Very cool.
The Facebook group, and I will put it in the chat right now. It's for
Excellent.
one of the Epic Encounter boxes.
Which
Oh my
one?
God.
Which one?
The Kobold Queen.
Oh, Shrine of the Kobold Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Place of the monster royalty. Anybody who who doesn't know what I'm talking about, go and check out our episode from a couple of weeks ago.
The place with the stuff and the thing.
Yep,
Where that all happens.
exactly. I got to admit, I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the like the frost giant.
I'm excited to see that bad boy painted up.
Yeah.
With his gargantuan base.
Yes.
That's good.
Gargantuan.
That's gonna take some fun thoughts on how to really bring out its gargantuan nature.
Yes.
That's
No, my very first D&D adventure was the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl, or frost giant Jarl, which was an adventure for I think like 4 to 7 players of 7th to 10th level,
Oh,
something
wow.
something like that. But of course, it being our very first game, we were like first level, and there were 2 of us.
Oh, so you just got like demolished.
That was where my friend Andrew, who was our DM, that's where he learnt to adjust things as a DM, so that we didn't actually die every moment.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was great that he learned that. I didn't really think about it until much later, but it was like, yeah, this is pretty hard. There was a point where we were able to rescue a storm giantess from her imprisonment. So she, of course, joined us to help us out, which kind of evened the score quite a bit. But yeah.
It looks
Okay.
like Dave is painting. Sumkey
Oh.
is working on my Eyes of the Nine for Warcry. And Roger Moore was painting, but not right now. He was earlier.
Cool.
Lukafio is cooking dinner.
Ooh, what you
Oh,
cooking?
nice.
Oh, and Lava Painter was painting.
Oh, cool.
So, oh, and JT is also painting.
Excellent.
Yes, what's for dinner? That's what we want to know. James says it's a 10-inch long and the weight is at the bottom, and I am working on the Black Beauty now.
Okay, cool.
Maybe he should have started with Keep on the Borderlands.
Yes. That would be one that was much more appropriate. And we could have worked up through several years to eventually maybe made it to like Lair of the Hill Giants, which was the first in the Giants series. So, yeah. We enjoyed it though, of course. Being our first adventure. But yeah, it was good.
You never forget your first adventure.
Never forget your first.
Especially when you spend a lot of time running from giants.
Especially when you were gonna die the whole time.
Every second. Every second.
Or
of
like
every
Myra's
game.
sister was telling me in her campaign where they like started, it was like the second time they got together, similar thing. All of the party members died.
Oh jeez.
And the DM was like, "So I'm going to resurrect the druid and the druid can heal everybody now."
Oh no.
Oh.
Hello, Rob. Welcome.
It looks like an orc and a naked man.
Sort of.
No.
Not quite.
So we're painting some Mythic America figures.
Yep. So I'm working on an Aztec. He's wearing like a scaly skin suit that I've decided to go with the bright green because it matches the bright green of the Quetzalcoatl we painted at the beginning of the year.
And I have some Mohawk warriors.
Yep, which are looking really cool.
They're not naked.
Nope.
They have pants
And mohawks.
and mohawks.
So yeah, we're getting those. Painting these up. Thinking, yeah, this red on here. I probably want to put a little bit of detail, sort of embroidered along the bottom of this tabard. I was originally thinking I might take up that that red to a fairly bright red, but it might work against the saturated green there. So I'll probably keep it fairly fairly desaturated here. But yeah, coming along.
And these are for the Mythic Americas game.
Yep. From
Warlord Games.
Warlord Games, produced by Warlord Games, and created by Mythico Studios.
Yes. And we actually painted the monsters a month ago,
Yep.
which was fun. And this is a cool game. It's kind of about warring factions, but all of the factions are related to Americas.
Yep.
Americana folklore.
Yeah.
And cultures.
First Peoples,
Cultures,
yeah.
Yep. So I think at the moment they have the Aztecs. They have some. They have the Mohawks, and I think they've got another. I think one of the other ones is the Inuits, and I think there's another Mesoamerican faction that they're working on. But yeah, so it's taking those tribes and cultures and their myths, turning them into cool minis and forces for. So the game itself is based on Warlords of Erewhon from Warlord Games. I'm just going to work out where the next bit is going to be. I just realised I missed a little bit underneath there. Sometimes there are those parts where you only see it when you look at it from a certain angle. And you're like, nobody else is ever going to look at that mini from that angle.
Except the one time they will.
Yeah. And that one time will be the first time they pick it up. And so from then on, they will just know. They'll know. That mini isn't fully painted. Okay, just going to mix a little bit of the sand yellow into some of the beige brown here. For some of the highlights on the cord. Holding that weapon together. So I think the way that this weapon would have been made was basically a piece of wood that's then split down the middle. The pieces of sharpened rock are inserted and then bound up again. Probably with some animal guts, I would think. Yeah.
LUKAFIO says he's having baked chicken with a hot salsa based laid on steamed white rice next to a bed of portobellos and spinach with port to wash it all down because it's finally after 5 o'clock. And I feel like that's an excellent dinner.
That sounds wonderful. We're all coming to your place after the show.
Because
That does sound
I'm
like an
not
excellent dinner.
cooking when I get home.
Nor am I.
It'll be like 10 o'clock.
Oh, jeez. It will be late. But that's okay. Okay, so I think I'm almost ready to work on the Jaguar head. I guess the question is, should I go with the Panther? Which will be nice and easy, it'll just be black. Or should I go with Jaguar?
I think that with the green, the Jaguar would be more striking.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
And
So let's go
also
with
the
it.
spots are more difficult than cheetah spots because you have the rosettes.
Yep. Okay. I'm just going to rummage for a little bit.
Are there jaguars
Jaguar spots
In
look
the-
like this.
In Central America?
In Central America, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume panthers.
No, there was definitely, there were, well, at least there were definitely jaguars at the time. Quite a few of the cultures had jaguar
Okay, cool.
totems.
It has like the rosettes
That's true.
on
I didn't
it,
think about the totems. Yeah.
Yeah.
where the it's like yellow fur, and then it has the slightly darker color of yellow or brown, and then it has the little C-shaped
Oh,
spot.
there
and then
should
it has
be
the
a,
spot in the middle.
there should be a blank page in front of you, Gretchen, if you want to use not a blank page, like a blank palette sheet, like in front of you. Not on your wet
Oh.
palette.
In front. In
Ah,
front.
You could use that for an example if you
there's
wanted.
like, so I'd have to. It's either this one, where it's like little rosette. And they're like different variations of that. Or it is the one where it's more, that just looks like an eyeball. But like with Bengal cats. Like the breed of the domestic breed, and they have rosettes all over.
Okay. Yes.
But cheetahs just have normal spots.
Right. Okay, James, oh, sorry, LUKAFIO says doors open and the sun is shining. It's a warm 86 degrees here, so dinner is on the patio.
That's fantastic. It was
That
cold
sounds
this
great.
morning in Maryland, and I was really sad because I just planted a whole bunch of different things. I just put my lemon tree that I just got out on the patio because I was like, we're past the first frost. We're safe. But we're not the true South, so we're not safe.
But I feel like we definitely passed the frost, though.
I think my lemon tree will be fine.
Put some blankets around it.
Yeah. I'd be a little bit worried, I think.
Well, I planted up, I have the lemon tree, I got a blueberry bush, I have raspberry bush, I already had a blackberry bush, and that's coming back.
Cool.
The strawberries survived. I thought they didn't, but when I was planting, there they were. I was very pleased. I didn't actually get
Excellent.
to eat any strawberries last year. That didn't happen. But, the plant sure is alive.
I'm just going to quickly, so you're just going to look at my arm there for a second. There we go. I'm just going to quickly type in Jaguar into the search engine of my choice.
There's no shame in references.
Not a sponsor.
Hold on.
Rob says, blue sunny skies here, trying to decide where for lunch. Maybe pancakes in the city.
That'd be cool.
I had
Is
pancakes.
Pancake Factory still there, Rob?
Wow, I want pancakes now.
I love pancakes.
I love pancakes. I love waffles. Sean says it's going to be cold. Yeah.
Yeah. Boo.
My-
Okay.
My
Oh,
sister.
no. I just touched his face.
Oh, did you get
with
it, Dave?
My paintbrush. That's fine. While we're zoomed in on me, it's
Sorry.
okay. He has stone on him.
Yep. I found one. So you can switch back. There we go. I wanted to see how far down the spots came, and when it's around the head, it's they're just sort of the regular smaller spots. While the spots that Gretchen was showing would be found further back on the body. So thankfully, I can do it nice and easily. Hooray! So for this, the yellow that I'm using here, I started off with a base coat of a mix of Avalon Sunset from Citadel and red leather from Vallejo. So I just started with a little mix of that. Now I'm going with some straight Abilene Sunset. For some of the highlights.
Very carefully.
And then I think I'll mix in some ivory, actually, for some of the higher highlights.
This is fine. The sun is just coming from this direction, is what I just decided.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're just gonna highlight him up on this side.
Are you just going to look at him from one side?
Yep,
Okay.
it'll be fine.
You know that's a trick for diorama painters. Yeah? If you have a situation where you're only going to see the miniature from one side,
You only paint up the one side?
there's really no need to paint the other side. You save yourself some time.
He is not perfect, but he no longer has a bunch of gray on his face.
Okay. That's good.
Let's look at the rest of the miniatures.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So
Let's
these
do
minis
that.
have been submitted to our
Oh
group.
dear.
What were you going to say, Dave?
Sorry, just Dave Hummel is in Arizona, I think. It's just said that it will be 96 here on Saturday. That's a little bit too hot. Just a bit. So Mark Greenwood, 3 dragons in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
I think that might be close to your record.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking really nice there. Mark going for 3 different approaches. That's I think I'm going to say my favorite is the green.
Definitely really love the green.
I
that
love the green one.
ombre kind of up to the yellow was just...
Yeah. Yep.
And that strip of yellow on the back makes me think of those little tiny fast green lizards.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Particularly that that line of yellow down the back with the edges on the scales there. It's looking really cool. I do like the blue dragon on the right as well. I like all of them, of course. But yeah, that green is really jumping out there. Nice work, Mark. Looks great. Oh, here we go. So where Mike said before that he was working on some Middle-earth strategy battle game.
Yeah.
So these are some of the elven elk warriors.
I really love how...
Elf warriors. Elven warriors. No,
I
blame
really
Mike,
do
then.
love how shiny the armor is.
pardon me. Yeah, it looks great.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
Going to survive?
My throat dried out much earlier this week.
Oh, no. But those heavy highlights really, I think, work well with elven style armor because it's supposed to be so pristine
Yep.
and so expensive looking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think elves always look expensive.
Sure. Well, if it's all super finely crafted, right?
Yeah.
Which are always
They're
sort
also
of
snobby, so.
snobby, super finely
Well,
crafted.
Rivendell elves, come on.
But of course, they're not buying it, they're making it.
True.
Because they've been alive for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And they've learned how to do it. They've spent a lot of time learning their craft. But no, looking great, Mike. As Gretchen said, I think that, I love that sheen on the gold you've got going there. Particularly on that archer. Looking awesome. Very nice work. Good one. Oh, Drew has been painting up some doors for his repulsor. So that's this is for his Crimson Fist army. And that like, is that the lambda symbol?
Don't know what
I
the
can't
symbol
remember.
is.
But anyway, that
I just
inverted,
know it's painted nicely.
Yes. In 40K for Space Marines, that's the Devastator. I think
And
so,
it's so
heavy
hard to
support kind of
get
thing.
such even circles
Yeah. Yeah.
without using like a stamp or something. So that's
I think
good.
one of the things I would do if I was doing that would be get a circular base and put that on the door and then paint around it. So I'm not sure if that's what Drew's done. But yeah, looking really good. Can't wait to see the repulsor finished. The repulsor is a tank, of course. But yeah, looking great. Oh, Rob is in the chat. You joined at the right time. His progress on his strolling Death Guard dreadnought. It's kind of disgusting, isn't it?
It is disgusting, but it is delightfully colorful.
It is, yeah, definitely.
It looks like it's going to sell me a beverage from the 90s or 80s.
Okay, like
and
some
it's
sort of
going to
energy
tell
beverage?
me how rad it is.
Right. Yes. Yes.
This is going to shoot things while yelling things like rad and awesome and
totally tubular. Yeah, at the end, crushing the can, for sure. Check out those claws. It would definitely do that.
it's fantastic.
But yeah, this is looking really good. Looking really good, Rob. Looks great. Oh, Dave says chevron. That shape is also a chevron shape. Yep, definitely right. But Rob, this is looking very cool. Nice work. And that tongue is disgusting. Roger has painted up some Greek soldiers. So these soldiers also have that lambda shape on their shields. Looking really good. And of course, I think after seeing 300, everyone expects lambda to be on Spartan shields, which I think it might have been, and might be expecting red. But I think the green is a great choice here.
I really do like the green, yeah.
Yep.
It's nice to see colors other than red.
Right. Yep. And I think with the warmth of the bronze or brass, bronze really, I think that green just balances that nicely. So excellent work there, Roger. Looks very cool. Oh, Rob has asked in the chat, Dave, did you see my Demon Prince turn around? I did not. I will go and check it out in the group. But, oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Yep. Sean mentioned before is working on the Lumineth Valinor.
I love how colorful this is without being blinding.
Yeah.
And I like how everything kind of has a warm tone to it. So it kind of looks like it's like sunrise, a golden hour when you're looking at this. Has
Right.
has that look to it.
Yeah, I guess when, like, did you say sunrise?
Yeah, sunrise
Okay.
or... Well, no, sunset, I guess. Golden hour.
what-
Whatever time frame that is where everything...
Depends on
turns
which side
gold.
of the mountain you're on. Yeah. Probably that.
I don't know times. I don't...
Times. But no, I think you're right. It's definitely looking very cool. There's so much work going into it. All of the little filigree work on the armor plates is all carved into the, or like it's sculpted into the armor. So yeah, Sean's doing a great job there of picking all of those out. But yeah, looking really nice. Great work, Sean. Very cool. Okay. Sleepwalk Air, my new Blood Bowl team.
Ooh.
So this was the Imperial Noble team that was in the Blood Bowl second season box set that they released fairly recently. But all of those fantastic plumes. And I think there might have been another angle this post that was sort of looking at them from lower down.
They definitely look super fluffy. All of the very nice highlighting done.
Yeah, all of those plumes looked like he'd gone and stuck actual feathers.
And I do like the little bits picked out with the blue and the red. I assume that means something in gameplay.
Well, I think particularly with having so many sort of big plume models there, I think that would be probably a good way to pick out either different positions on the team, because there are like linemen and blockers and blitzers and that kind of thing, or particular characters, or sort of named guys. So you know, this is Hans and this is Franz, that kind of thing. But yep, looking very cool. Nice work. Nice work indeed. Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
This was looking super cool. Definitely go to the group and check this post out because the body of the two ogres on top of a stone horn, and he's gone for that sort of rose granite, rose quartz kind of look for the horns, which just looks very cool. But the body of it has like fox fur coloration.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so you can see, well, kind of see on the right-hand side there that the horn goes out and curls up. And then below that, you can see a leg that goes down to the base. It's got that white there, which so it has like those socks that you see that foxes have on them. And but yeah, just looks really nice. So definitely go and check out some of the other views, some of the other angles there too. But and I also love the work that he's done on the ogres.
That condor there, or vulture.
Yeah, the little vulture. The blood vulture is very cool. And the big sort of shark-like maw on the back there.
In the back, yeah.
It's got that fantastic kind of rusty coloration. Looks really nice. But yeah, fantastic work. Looks awesome. Big fan. I have an ogre army, and I haven't painted my stone horn yet, so this is kind of inspiring.
Goodbye to Roger Moore. He has to go run and teach a game of After the Empire.
Excellent. Have fun.
I mean, I guess
Enjoy
if
that.
he has to leave us, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
If you're playing a game, it's the only it's the only way.
Cool. It's the only way you get to leave.
Yep.
Ah, very cool.
So,
Okay.
thank you to everyone who submitted their miniatures.
Yep.
Make sure that you're keeping up to that date with that by joining our Facebook group, and then also finding the link in the description and also in our social media. I've tried to make that as available as possible for you to submit whenever you're finished a mini.
Cool.
Or even a work in progress. We look at work in progress too.
We do indeed.
Take care, Roger. Bye.
Everyone, Roger.
Thanks for joining.
Very cool. So while we were looking at those, I realized that the shield should probably be another place where I can put the Jaguar coloration, and so that way I can use some of the larger spots, which should be cool. And kind of saves me from the danger of introducing too many more colors. So
You don't want all the colors all the time?
I think no, not all the colors all the time. Maybe all the colors some of the time.
Some of the time.
Like here,
Yeah.
all the colors. But yeah, maybe not all the time.
So, Dave, what are you hoping to finish up on your mini?
That's a good question. What do I have? I've got 23 minutes left.
20 minutes, yeah.
I think I should be able to finish everything. So my plan is to a little bit more highlighting on the shield and on the headdress there. I've got to do the feathers down the bottom, and what I'll probably do there is I'll probably do the purple of these feathers. I keep putting it in front of the camera. Yeah, the purple for these feathers, because that'll work well against the yellow on the shield. And I think then it's going back and picking out the shoulder sort of armor plate there, and the stone embedded in the weapon. So I think I will go back and do those as kind of an obsidian kind of look. I'll probably put a gloss varnish over them, just for fun. So that's what I've got left to do, and then the base, of course.
I'm adding a little bit of red around the weaponry, where the handles and the grips are all like twined up.
Right.
Just add a little pop of color. Not make it so many neutrals.
Cool.
So I'll do that and then probably highlight it up a little bit.
Excellent. That'll be good. But of course we don't want to get too quiet too early. We'll save that for the end. Very cool. It's definitely fun. Enjoyed painting these minis.
Very good minis to paint.
Yep. I think as I've added each successive area, it's helped me sort of get a good feel for the rest of the mini. That's good. Oh, just quickly, I'm going to use some ivory here to pop in those teeth. Because he's got that mouth sort of wide open, yelling. Just a little line of ivory there. I'll pop those out. And there we go. So I'll just get a little bit more of this Avalon Sunset. I really like this, the Avalon Sunset from Citadel, because it has great coverage over any sort of color, but and it's a really nice base for painting a bright yellow, something like sun yellow. You can put over that top of that really easily. I use it a lot for my hazard striping. So models where I've got, or bases where I do a lot of hazard striping. Look at that, I got paint all over my hand.
Is it mini painting if you don't at some point in time get paint all over something?
Probably not. It probably isn't.
Something that's not a mini?
Yeah.
Verify.
Okay. And the edge of this shield, I'm just going to do that like the way I've done the leather straps on the back and the front. So just a little bit of beige brown for the highlight. Around that. Just to connect it with the rest of the mini. Okay.
Cleaning up my base.
Just quickly look to the side for my purple. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. Got all these colours out and I haven't used half of them.
One day you'll have to figure out which miniature colors you have not used or have used the least, and you'll have to paint a mini just using those colors.
Just using those? Okay.
I think that's an excellent idea. Fun challenge.
Yep.
Have to make it work.
Yep. Oh, that's something we've got to talk about. We've got to work out when we're going to do the, like the 5-color challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to work that out, Leona.
Okay.
Maybe
We gotta work it out.
We're gonna work it out. Work out when we're gonna do it.
High School Musical style. There's a song that they sing,
Okay.
and I don't want to sing it right now, but it's in my head. It's in my head, guys.
It's in your head.
Yeah.
Zombie. Sorry.
That's a good song.
It is. Yeah. So that would be the challenge where we just use.
Challenge. It's just 5 colors, but it's all shades of gray.
Sure. So it would be you'd have white,
White
Black.
and black. And then 3 gray.
dark gray, light gray,
Yeah.
and basalt gray.
Basalt. Yeah.
I have all of those already. I'm
There you
good to
go.
Yep.
5-color challenge. No, actually, what I can do, what I
Yep.
think would be fun, is if I do a little voting.
Oh, yeah.
On the colors, and then we can kind of like
Oh.
nail down
I
the
like
colors
that
that we
idea.
want.
Because I must admit, I was just thinking it would be like red, blue, yellow, black, and white.
Yeah, like the basic.
Oh, okay.
Like, mixing
Or we
colors.
could-
Because then you can, that would show how awesome Gretchen is at mixing colors and how
Oh,
kind of crap I am if it's not like charred brown.
gotcha. Okay,
So,
we could do it that way. I can also set up, if people in the chat want to vote on the colors, let me know, and then I can send something up.
well, maybe you can do like a mid-show Iron Chef kind of thing.
There
Where all
you
of a
go.
sudden
Where
we
it's like-
get them taken out, and then it's the voted colors.
Oh, it's like here are you pick one of these four colors.
Yeah.
Run the poll, do it on Facebook or whatever, so we can't see it, and then halfway through you go,
Oh.
and now you get to add magenta, or you get to add flat Earth, something like that. That could be fun.
You'd get to add shifters.
Oh.
Oh, I'd be
Special
totally screwed.
price for shifters.
And just know that that's what people would pick.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, something like that, I think, would be cool. Yeah, we need to work on that.
I could make that happen. Because honestly, I could do it live through Google Forms
Yeah,
and just have people submit live.
sounds like a plan.
We can make it happen.
Sounds like it has been decided. Now it's got to work out what we're going to paint with it.
Something that if we're doing a mixing challenge, I feel like the minis should be something not super challenging, like a dragon or something. That way you can actually see on a larger surface area what we're mixing.
Oh, so you're saying it should be a dragon?
It should be something dragon sized. It should be. It should
See,
be.
I was thinking it'd be like, we should do like a cleric or a druid.
I just think that if it's something super small and we're doing a mixing challenge, then you don't get to showcase the mixing.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm in trouble.
So not necessarily a dragon, but something a little bit larger, some kind of creature or something that could really showcase mixing things.
Maybe something like an ogre.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little more. Dave says, Dave, like the old Games Day speed painting events. Every day that we paint on the show is a speed painting day because we try to complete minis in 2 hours or less.
Yep. That's true. But the speed painting that Dave's talking about was like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that kind of thing.
I could do that with normal painting on like canvas.
Yep.
I don't know if anything I did with a mini would look good.
Oh, very rarely do they look good. But it is a very particular, you got to take a very particular approach to finish a mini and have it look good in 20 minutes. You have to make hard choices. Okay. And here we go. This is the other Jaguar print. Yep.
Hey, that's what I meant by the rosettes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're not sort of circles or ovals that are complete. There's little gaps in them. So that should be interesting. So what I'm going to do is actually just paint the circles. Like that. And I can come back with the Avalon Sunset later. And just paint little lines on them to give that rosette kind of look. So again, this is just a thing that you can practice. So I'm using a size 1 brush. you might feel more comfortable using a size 0 or 000. But yeah, just practicing little circles there. There have been times when I've, like for games like Blood Bowl, where we just saw Sleepwalk Air painted his Blood Bowl team, where I've actually painted the names of the different players on the edge of the base. So when you've practiced that quite a bit, it's not, something like this isn't too tough to then try and achieve. But as with everything, it's just practice, 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 practice. There we go. How's that look? What do you think, Gretchen?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so I'm just going to, on the example I've got here, there are only a few that have kind of dots in the middle. Kind of random. So that should be good. And then to accentuate that, that rosette look that Gretchen has mentioned. Might not show up too well on camera there. We'll get a close-up photo of it later and pop it in the group. And they're kind of random, these little lines. They're not, they don't all go in the same direction. And on this particular example, it looks like the fur is a little bit lighter outside of the rosette. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of kind of fur texture in there. That's probably something I should mention as well. I think it's the April issue. No, it might be the May issue of Game Trade magazine. It has an article that I did on texture. So painting fur and cloth texture. So now I have to come up with an idea for the June issue. When I say I have to come up with an idea, I'm opening it up to the chat. What would people like to see in the June issue? As far as a technique or a tip or whatever it might happen to be. But look at me, I'm a week ahead. I need it for next Friday. Wow. Not for tomorrow like I did last time. Wow. I know. Look at me getting organized.
Amazing.
Cool. Amazing indeed. Okay, let's get some more black. I just realized that I probably should be using a...
Put those ideas in the chat and your idea might be chosen. Like my idea was last time. I felt very proud about that.
Very cool. I've got a painting handle now. Look at that.
This whole time.
Yeah, we've got 8 minutes left.
Just so people know, they are sitting off screen.
Yep.
Easy
I'm
reach.
try to give my
the whole
guy who's yelling teeth
time.
So you mean, Leona, that if I told people that that you'd just come in and
Yeah.
dropped it off, they wouldn't believe you? They wouldn't believe me?
Yes. That's
Right,
what I'm
okay.
trying to set the record straight.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I probably wouldn't believe me either.
So I can't apparently paint eyebrows today, but teeth.
Teeth? You good with teeth?
Spot on. Just booped it on there.
Well, I will say, Gretchen, that very few people attempt to paint eyebrows.
I like
minis.
having eyebrows on there.
I know you do.
I feel like it helps give your
Expression?
mini, yeah. Like they frame the face.
That's fair.
Jason says, have you done a so you want to paint minis, this is where to start, types of brushes, commonly used colors, etc.?
Yes. Yeah. Covered that sort of thing.
Another idea is you could write an article on best practices for storing paints.
Oh, storing paints. That's interesting. You mean like racks, having them on your painting desk, or?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's an interesting one. I probably wouldn't be able to get that done by next Friday, but I think it's definitely one to put in the queue.
JT says, I bought a painting handle some time ago and have yet to use it because I paint the minis off the bases.
All right. Yeah, that can be make it a little bit more difficult for sure.
It was a little difficult.
One thing I tend to do when I have a textured base, like a resin base that I'm working, the miniature is going to go on, and I'm working on that separately, is I'll attach the mini to a spare plastic base, so that I can still hold it by the base. So I'm not sure if that would work for you at all. But I need to be quick here now. So I painted the sort of stone parts on the weapon, as well as kind of the shoulder sort of decoration parts. I'm not really not sure what they're supposed to be made of, but I'm just going. Unless they look like they have carvings in them, they're either going to be wood or stone. It makes sense for them to be wood because they're on the shoulder, but this is Mythic Americas, so. I can say that this guy is lugging around some cool obsidian things, because that'll be super sharp, so if he has to run into anybody and tackle them a little bit, he'll have that additional
I fixed his
edge and
eyebrows.
comment.
Fixed his eyebrows.
Fix his eyebrows? Fantastic. We can reissue your cosmetologist license.
It was
We don't
important.
have to revoke it. Pardon?
I said it was important.
Oh, for sure.
Couldn't just let him go off into battle like that. That's just rude. That's what that is. But I think
Okay,
these guys are
yeah.
pretty much done up.
You want to put them on this minute?
Sure.
Oh,
No tossing.
no tossing.
Hand delivered. Thank you.
yeah, because they're metal. I would have
Yeah.
done something terrible to them.
Maybe it hit your eye or something.
He has glasses.
He does.
It's protected.
Thanks, they would have hit my glasses.
Put your glass. Broken.
Forever. Oh, no, I would forever know that scratch happened. The day Gretchen threw miniatures at me. You say to me, I say at me.
Nah. Nah. Catch them, Dave.
Catch. Okay.
So yeah, storing paints. Let's see. What other techniques haven't we really discussed?
I've covered a lot of them.
You have.
But, yeah. I'll come up with something.
I'm glad I was heavy-handed with the highlights, because now you can actually see them.
Yep, they do look cool.
Adjusting my painting techniques for the
Hang on a
camera.
Oh, proper brush looking, says Sumkey. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Cool. Like this. Mm,
I feel like I'm at the eye doctor.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine.
We'll get there.
That's okay. They look better this way, really.
my
Mini
goodness.
1 or Mini 2?
Do I need to shift something? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Ooh, how about brush cleaning? Now that's a good idea.
No,
Proper brush cleaning. We don't demonstrate those techniques here.
we don't. Yeah, that could be good. We can look at that.
Don't put them in the cupboard. We talked about this before on the show. We asked everybody what their favorite mini would be to put in the cupboard if you had the magic cupboard that turned things alive.
Really?
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
There was one episode
I
a
do
good while
not
back where
remember
we
this.
brought up the old movie Indian in the Cupboard.
Yeah. it
Oh
was quite
my
a while ago.
goodness.
It was.
Sorry, you saying that? I was like, no way we did that. But I mean, you both remember. I must have just been out in the back.
I'm not going to say we didn't talk about it for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
It was a whole show dedicated. No, we
Yeah.
just kind of in casual conversation. I forgot what brought it up. I think it was someone's mini when we were looking through different people's
Oh,
minis.
Yeah.
We were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, this looks like this. Like it would
Yep.
be part of this show. Or I think it's because they had it in a, like, poised in like a shelf or something that
Right.
looked like the cupboard.
That's what it was.
It was relevant at the time.
You're
We
right.
only ever talk about relevant things.
Yeah. But it was a fun discussion. What mini you would want to put into a magic cupboard.
Yeah.
Don't put them in the cupboard.
I would definitely put a dinosaur in there. I think that'd be really fun. I think that would be a really fun miniature pet to have.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
That would be very
And
cute.
you'd have a big terrarium to put it in like you would with a lizard. Be-
I don't think I would put any miniature that I've painted recently in. All of them would be absolutely frightening.
or a dragon, little mini dragon.
Again, that's
A
going to be
mini-
frightening.
a mini space marine.
There's
Yeah.
a little tiny space marine just yelling at you.
You know, it's not going to listen to you. When you say, stop, get back in the box. It's not going to listen.
Dave, are you
I'm
at
almost
a
done.
point to
I'm
maybe
almost-
put 'em on
Not
Go,
the
quite.
go, go,
Not
go,
quite.
go.
I'm sorry, folks.
It's all good.
We're going to run a
Fast.
little
Thanks
bit
for
late.
everybody who has been joining and talking to us, painting along with us. Tick,
Dave
tick,
says
tick.
tick, tick, tick.
Tick, tick,
Goes
tick,
the clock.
boom.
It's all good.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still trying to figure out the focusing on this. I
There we
think
go.
I'll make come over and
I'm going to give you a little bit of extra time, yeah?
Some key. Leona has to go to bed. Wrap it up, Dave.
well, you're not wrong.
True.
Yana does need. But
Well, Leona gave me the model with the
I did give you
With
the
the
model with
detailed
the crazy
base.
thing.
detailed base. If I didn't have the detailed base, I could have just painted it black.
Someone
LUKAFIO
all
says
good.
someone forgot what happened in Jurassic Park, and joke's on you. That is my favorite movie.
Not only did Gretchen remember, she wants to remake Jurassic Park.
I remember exactly what happened in Jurassic Park. And I will create a miniature version of it if I could. That would be amazing. What's the T-Rex gonna do if it escapes? It is like less than the size of the water bottle. It will be fine. It will eat mice in the house better than my cat. That's what it will do.
I suspect it might eat you too.
My toes.
when you're asleep.
Like go after my ankles.
When you're asleep, tell me I'm wrong.
I would have better security than Jurassic Park.
Life finds a way. Thank you, Jeff. Almost there.
My
Almost there.
roommate used to play a game where she would put on Jurassic Park and time how quickly it would take for me to hear it in the apartment and how quickly I would come into the room. And the record is within the first chord of the song playing. Not at the film itself, but the Universal logo coming up.
All right, okay. Yep. You were trained.
I was, very well. I was like, just hear do, and I was like, yes.
You were Pavlov's paleontologist. Excellent.
Sean says, oh, I ordered a Malosaurus Rex today. Speaking of dinosaurs, bringing it back around to minis.
Cool. Okay, here we go.
James, I do not have work on Friday. That's very nice for you.
Definitely good.
I will be confined back to the laboratory, back to the lab.
Okay, almost there. Almost.
You can do it.
Okay.
You can do it. You can do it. Da-da-da.
There we go.
I do like seeing you paint colorful minis, I will say.
I know you do. But I balanced it with, there's quite a bit of, I'm getting a little bit seasick now. Oh, feeling kind of woozy.
Oh. Get your mini painting legs about you.
Yep. Excellent. JT says, nice job, you two. Yes. Thanks, JT.
We try.
I like
yeah.
how you've decided that's how JT sounds. Maybe he was
But-
like, nice job, you two.
Isn't that what I said?
Nice job, you two. Nice job, you two.
Nice job.
Nice job,
Band
you
from
two.
Ireland.
Sorry.
No, oh good.
Sorry.
Cool. Okay, fantastic. We're finally there.
Yeah, we did it.
Thank you very much
done
to
it.
Warlord Games and to Mythicos Studios for sending
Yeah.
these minis.
They painted up real well.
They did indeed.
Make sure if you like the minis, go check out the game.
Yep, definitely do that. And your friendly local game store will be able to order it in from Alliance Game Distributors. Give them a
True.
call.
Good job
Say hello.
remembering.
We would like some Mythic Americas. But yeah, definitely cool. Excellent. You can tell it's getting late.
Yeah. We're all tired.
Yeah, a
There's-
bit loopy.
I have my coffee.
Yeah.
I brought it. My definitely not, because it's from this angle. This angle. It's my no
Very good.
logo coffee. But thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure that if you're not part of the Facebook group, you go ahead to Facebook and just type in Painting Happy Little Minis and it'll pop right up, and one of us will let you in as soon as you join so
Yep.
that you can share your minis on the show. They are chosen, if you have them in by what, Wednesday? Wednesday.
Let's see.
All
Excellent.
right. Do we know what we're painting next week? It's a surprise. Make sure to join us next week to find out what we're painting.
I think Leona might put up a
poll?
poll.
Yeah, so make sure you're really in the Facebook group then. It'll be a surprise for us, but not for you.
Excellent.
See you guys next time.
JT said all of those sort of impressions of him were accurate representations. We all got it right. Good work.
Good job, team. And happy Easter, Sean says, to those who celebrate it.
Yep.
Well, that is the end of our show. We'll see you next Thursday. And
I found the camera. It's there.
you did.
Look, it's right there.
See you at your friendly local game store.